Alrighty, boy. So, I mentioned last time, if you watched my last video, most of you probably haven't, but I was out of town for a funeral, so I was away from my vast DVD collection, and while I probably could have found my next movie in my alphabetical go-round, if I really looked, I just decided, let's pull up Shudder and actually look for some movies that I've been meaning to watch. Movies I actually wanted to see, because, it's a rough time. Let's go for it. And so, I queued it up, and one of the newer runs was a movie I'd been hearing good things about. So, hey, kicked up Stopmotion. I went in completely blind into this one, and woof! Okay. This is a creepy little film, and while some of the twists are kind of obvious if you've seen films like this, the execution went very well for me. I can see a lot of people not liking this movie because it is a slow psychological thing, but almost everyone agrees that the creepy stop motion imagery is effective. And it is. That is definitely the highlight of the film. And goddamn are some of those stop motion figures unsettling to look at. Okay, so this one came out 2023, so still very new. So we're following Ella. It's the same actress that played Anna from Last Voyage of the Demeter. So I just saw her recently. Okay, Ella Blake. So we're following Ella. She's a stop motion artist. However, she's taking care of her elderly mother, who's pretty much on her nearing the end of her life with the illness that she's got. However, she's determined to make one final movie, as she's like this famous stop motion animator. She's like one of the greatest stop motion people. So Ella is pretty much effectively her hands, because arthritis in her disease, her mother can't do the stop motion. So she's essentially doing the animation for her mother, and while at her mother's direction. However, they're having some problems. The film's not working. Her mother's crazy overbearing, and Ella keeps wanting to do her own thing. I mean, when asked what she suggested she'd have, she doesn't really actually have any that she can bring up, but she still wants to. Until finally, her mother does pass pretty quick. So that's not a spoiler. And so she moves out of there because she doesn't want to be in that house anymore, and starts trying to continue her mother's movie. Well, her mother she doesn't pass away right away. She goes to the hospital. It kind of comatose. That's right. It was a couple weeks ago. So, however, she gets her own place, starts trying to set up and to continue the movie, but it's still not working. A little girl pretty much barges into her life and starts making suggestions, and then turns into demands about how the movie should progress. And effectively making her, instead of making that movie, make your own movie. And so this little girl starts saying, hey, you should, finds like some creepy like corpse putty, which is used to touch up dead body faces. It's often used in stop motion. You should make a little girl out of this. And then starts telling a story about this girl that's being chased. Well, she does that and then animates it. But the girl says that, no, that's not right. She needs to be made out of meat. Well, if you don't do it, I'm not going to tell you the next part of the story, because Ella still can't come up with her own original idea. And now she keeps following this girl's increasingly insane demands of what to make things out of. And her friends start to get concerned as she continually alienates them and essentially goes down this psychological rabbit hole. Some of the twists aren't that hard to spot, really. If you're an old hand at this kind of movie, you can kind of pick up what's some of it. But it's still worth seeing for one. Ashley Friends. Got to double check her name here. Franciosi. Aisling Francoisi, is very good. I'm probably mutilating her name, but she is great here. And she's pretty much having to carry almost the entire movie. And the stop motion is creepy and effective. So it's worth seeing for just that, but I particularly enjoyed this. It definitely has some good unsettling imagery. So, for me, I'll give this one a good 7 MacGuffins. I do recommend it. It's worth checking out, particularly if you're a fan of old school stop motion. Alrighty, boy. See you soon.